Our investigation was based upon group work and group work skills. So mainly we we had two aspects to the project. The first aspect was just why it's important for students to work in groups, the skills that they can benefit from, and then the second part of it we kind of discussed more wider school collaboration, which for me was the most exciting part. Yeah, and it was really interesting because we all came from different faculties, and so I'm from a performing arts perspective where a lot of my students are working in groups and then they perform in their groups, but they're assessed individually. And in the past I'd sort of had some issues with that process, so that's what we were kind of launching into. From my perspective, I honed in my investigation into the Year 13 program. Last year we had some slightly disappointing results with some very talented students when they were working on a techniques-based task. This year the same group of students came to me and wanted to do a full class play, which I kind of was really keen on for them, but had all of these concerns based on how they worked in groups last year. And so the first thing that we did was we collected student voice, and I got one of the students from that class to sit outside the work and to observe what she could see was happening with the small groups and what things weren't working. And then we spent a whole lesson having a discussion about what we needed to do as a class and in groups to move forward and make this more successful. Cross-curricular projects is sort of something that I've always been aware of since I started teaching, and something that I've engaged in a couple of times, but not something that I ever really knew how it would work. And so because we don't necessarily have the infrastructure here to support what thematic-based learning we might want to do, we kind of just brainstormed. What was really effective though and really insightful was that we were 7 people from different faculties who were able to talk to each other and relate and say, hey, if there's one of our teachers, Marla from maths, is constantly coming to me now and being like, how could I get students enroll to investigate parabolas and I think having that conversation between us just made us realise that we've all got the same learning goals. And that was quite exciting. So it's really just the beginning, I think, when it comes to collaboration. But I think there's huge scope.